So be the villain. Be the nightmare that keeps them awake at night. Be the chaos they can't control. Because no matter how much they preach about good and evil, there's only one truth: the strong survive and the weak serve. Which one are you? They'll tell you power corrupts. Another lie: power doesn't corrupt. It reveals. It strips away the mask and shows you what someone truly is. The ones who claim to be righteous, to be selfless. Watch what happens when they get a taste of real power. They become worse than the monsters they claim to hate. But not you. You've already seen the truth. You've already stepped into the dark and realized it's not the enemy. The dark doesn't lie to you. The dark doesn't pretend to be something it's not. It embraces you. It gives you strength. They'll beg you to stay in your place, to be small, to be quiet. They'll tell you to play nice, to be humble, to wait your turn. But what happens when you stop waiting? What happens when you refuse to be ignored? That's when they panic. That's when they see you for what you really are. Unstoppable. You don't owe them kindness. You don't owe them mercy. If they wanted kindness, they shouldn't have made you suffer. If they wanted mercy, they shouldn't have made you bleed. They made you this way, and now they have the audacity to be afraid. Good. Let them be afraid. Let them see what happens when you stop being their pawn. Let them watch as you burn down everything they built to keep you caged. Because in the end, there are two kinds of people: those who follow and those who lead. Those who kneel and those who rise. And trust me, they are terrified of the ones who rise. So rise, take, own, rule. Because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you your dreams. It's up to you. And if you have to become the villain to get what's yours, then so be it. The world doesn't need more heroes. It needs more monsters who aren't afraid to take what they deserve. And that, my friends, is the only truth that matters. They'll write my name in blood and ash, whisper it in fear when the lights go out, but they'll never truly understand. They'll blame me for the ruin, as if it wasn't already crumbling long before I stepped in. Oh, they'll paint me as the villain because it's easier than facing the truth. That's what they do. Shift the blame point finger and carry on as if nothing ever happened. But deep down, in the silence of their darkest hours, they'll know. They'll know it wasn't me who destroyed them. It was their greed, their arrogance, their insatiable hunger for more. They built this house of cards, and I was the gust of wind that reminded them how fragile it all was. They act surprised, as if the cracks weren't there from the start. But that's humanity for you, isn't it? Blind to their own flaws, their own rot, until it's too late. They think they control everything, bend the world to their will, but control is an illusion. Chaos is the only constant, the only truth, and I've learned to embrace it. I used to believe in their lies, in their promises of a better tomorrow. I used to think there was something worth saving, but then I saw the strings, the puppeteers pulling us all along, laughing as we danced for their amusement. Oh, they love their games, their little manipulations, their endless power plays, and we let them. We let them because it's easier than fighting back, easier than tearing it all down and starting over. But easy doesn't mean right. I chose the hard path, the painful one, because someone had to. Someone had to stop pretending that everything was fine, that the system wasn't rotten to its core. I took their rules, their laws, their so-called morality, and I broke them, shattered them into 1,000 pieces. And now they look at me like I'm the monster, like I'm the one who brought ruin to their perfect little world. But it was never perfect. It was a lie, a pretty facade hiding the decay beneath. They'll rebuild, of course, they always do. They'll pick up the pieces, slap on a fresh coat of paint, and call it progress. But progress is just a cycle, a loop that always ends where it begins. Nothing truly changes because they don't want it to. Change scares them. It forces them to confront the parts of themselves they'd rather ignore. So they cling to the familiar, to the comfortable, to the lies that make it all bearable. They laugh at you, they always do, until you prove them wrong, until you rise, until you stand over them, watching them squirm under the weight of their own disbelief. Weaklings talk about fairness. Fools dream of justice. The world doesn't care. It never did. It never will. Strength is the only language it speaks, and weakness is a sin that must be burned away. You think kindness will save you. No, they will chew you up, spit you out, turn their backs the moment you fall. They don't want you to win. They don't want you to rise. But you will. Oh, you will. Because the fire inside you is darker than their shadows. Because you know what pain feels like, and you refuse to be its victim. The world fears monsters, but it respects them, so be one. But not the kind that preys on the helpless. No, be the kind that hunts those who think they are untouchable. Be the reckoning they never saw coming. Break their illusions, smash their fragile lies, smile as you do it. Let them taste the bitterness of their own arrogance. Mercy, that's a luxury. You earn it, or you don't. And they haven't. They mock the fire until it consumes them. They call you crazy because you see what they don't. Because you understand that power isn't given, it's taken. So take it. Take everything they said you couldn't have. Build yourself out of their doubt, out of their hate, out of every whispered insult, every sneer, every betrayal. Let it fuel you. Let it sharpen you. They wanted a villain. Show them one. But not the one they expect. No, be worse, be smarter, be inevitable. And when they beg, when they finally understand what they unleashed, lean in close and whisper, "I told you so." Oh, you're still here, still clinging to every word like a moth drawn to the flame. That means you're close, so close, to finally seeing it. The lie, the illusion, the joke they played on your whole life. And now you're at the edge, teetering between the world they built for you and the truth you were never supposed to know. Go on, take the next step. It's not as scary as they made you believe. In fact, it's liberating. Because once you let go, once you stop caring about their approval, their judgment, their fragile little rules, you become unstoppable. You become something they predict, can't control, can't define. And that, darling, is their greatest fear. They've spent their lives shaping you, molding you, cutting away the parts they didn't like, forcing you to fit into their perfect little system. They made you believe that if you just behaved, if you just obeyed, you'd be happy. But you weren't, were you? No, because deep down you always knew. You always felt it. That itch, that whisper, that quiet, nagging voice telling you that something was wrong, that the world they built didn't make sense, that the people who claimed to love you were the same ones who caged you. And now, here you are, standing at the threshold, the moment before the fall. Oh, but don't be afraid. Falling isn't the end. It's the beginning. The moment you stop pretending. The moment you embrace the chaos. The moment you become something more. They'll call you reckless. They'll call you insane. They'll say you've lost your way. But what they really mean is that they've lost their hold on you. And that terrifies them. Because a person without fear, a person who laughs in the face of their empty threats, that's a person who can't be stopped. And you've always been meant for more. You've always been meant to break free, to rise above the ashes of the life they forced on you and become something they can't ignore. They'll try, of course. They'll try to drag you back, to guilt you, to remind you of who you used to be. But that person is gone. That person was never real. That person was just a mask they forced you to wear. Now it's time to take off the mask, to step into the world without fear, without chains, without apologies. Let them watch. Let them tremble. Let them see what happens when the person they underestimated becomes the force they never saw coming. And when it's all said and done, when the dust has settled and the echoes of their screams have faded, stand tall, smile, because the joke's on them. And you're the one who gets the last laugh. Oh, you're still here. Good. That means you're listening. That means you feel it now. The truth crawling under your skin, whispering in your ear. You've spent your whole life being told what to do, to be, how to act, and for what? For their approval, for their acceptance, for a life that never felt like yours. Look at them, the ones who smiled while they held you down, the ones who made you doubt yourself, the ones who fed you lies wrapped in kindness, who convinced you that being good meant being quiet, being patient, being weak. They never wanted you to rise. They never wanted you to see past the illusion. Because the moment you did, you became a threat. And now you're dangerous. Now you see them for what they are. Now you understand that every rule they made was meant to keep you in your place. That every lesson they taught was meant to break your spirit. That every time they told you to wait, to behave, to be grateful for the scraps they threw your way, they were really telling you to stay small. But you were never small, were you? You just forgot. You let them clip your wings. You let them shape you into something safe, something they could control. But not anymore. The fire is back, the hunger, the rage, the voice inside that never really left, the one that always told you. You were meant for more. So take it. Take what's yours. Without apology, without guilt, without looking back. Let them watch. Let them tremble. Let them see what happens when thing they tried to bury refuses to die. They will hate you for it. Of course they will. They will call you cruel, call you selfish, call you a monster. But monsters don't beg. Monsters don't wait. Monsters don't sit quietly and let the world walk all over them. You have a choice. Stay the way they made you. Tame, obedient, waiting for permission to live. Or break free. Tear through the lies. Become what you were always meant to be. And when they ask what happened to you, when they wonder why you stopped playing their game, why you stopped caring what they think, explain. Don't justify. Just smile. Because they never really wanted you to be good. They just wanted you to be weak. Justice is not soft. It's not forgiving. Justice doesn't bend to tears or pleading or excuses. It's cold. It's absolute. And it's coming for them. Whether they want to face it or not. They'll try to run, of course. They'll try to hide behind their lies, their money, their empty promises. But I know where they live. I know their secrets. I know the truth they've tried so desperately to bury under layers of deceit. And I'll unearth it. I'll drag it into the light, kicking and screaming, so everyone can see them for what they erring frauds, cowards, destroyers in fine suits and polished smiles. They'll cry foul. They'll say I've gone too far, that I'm no better than them. But they don't get to decide that. They don't get to judge me. Not after everything they've done. Their judgment is worthless, their words hollow. The only thing that matters now is action. The only thing that matters is the reckoning they've tried so hard to avoid. And I will bring it to their doorstep. Oh, they'll fight. They always fight when their power is threatened. But it's pointless. They don't have the strength for this kind of battle. They've grown soft, hiding behind others to do their dirty work, letting their wealth shield them from the real world. They don't know what it means to struggle, to bleed, to crawl through the dirt just to survive. But I do. And that's why they'll lose. I've fought harder battles than this. I've faced worse enemies than them. They think they're untouchable, but they're just flesh and blood like anyone else. and flesh bleeds. Bones break. Fear overtakes even the strongest when the right pressure is applied. And I know exactly where to press. They'll call me relentless, but they don't understand what that word means. Relentless isn't just refusing to give up. It's refusing to stop until the job is done, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice. And I've already paid the highest price. I've lost everything that ever mattered to me. What more can they take? Nothing. And that's what makes me unstoppable. Oh, they'll call me heartless, but my heart beats louder than ever. It beats with the rage of every injustice they've committed, every life they've ruined, every lie they've told. It beats with purpose, with fire, with the kind of determination they can't even fathom. They'll say I've lost my soul, but my soul was never theirs to take. It belongs to the fire now. Life is chaos, my dear audience, pure, unfiltered chaos dressed up in suits and masks to make you think it's something else. They sell you the dream of order, the illusion of fairness, and you swallow it whole, don't you? But deep down, you know the truth. It's all a lie. Good, evil, right, wrong, they're just words. Tools they use to keep you in line. The so-called good people. They're no saints. They hide their cruelty behind charity, their selfishness behind smiles. They call themselves righteous, but righteousness is just arrogance with a halo. And the ones they call evil, the villains, they're the honest ones. They don't hide their hunger for power, their refusal to kneel. Good is a leash, a collar they place around your neck to keep you docile. They tell you to follow the rules, to obey, to sacrifice your desires for the greater good. But whose good are they talking about? Certainly not yours. No, the rules are made to benefit them, the powerful, the ones who laugh while you break your back trying to be good enough. And when you fail, and you will fail, they'll blame you. They'll call you weak, flawed, unworthy. But here's the punchline: they rigged the game from the start. Evil is freedom. It's tearing off the leash and throwing it at their feet. It's saying no when the world demands you say yes. They fear it because it's uncontrollable, untamed, and raw. They label it chaos because chaos can't be boxed, can't be chained, can't be bent to their will. But chaos is the only honest force in this world. It doesn't pretend to be fair or just, it simply is. And if you want to survive, you don't run from it. You embrace it.
And yet, the beauty of it all lies in the chaos, doesn't it? In the way broken things still glimmer under the right light. In how even scars can form constellations if you trace them carefully. Life doesn't ask if you're ready for the storm. It simply arrives, unapologetic and unrelenting. But in the silence after, there's something profounding, a reminder that you're still standing, bruised perhaps, but alive. The pain doesn't define you, nor does the darkness. It merely colors your story. A masterpiece isn't perfect. It's the imperfections that make it unforgettable. So, take the shards of what's left and build something breathtaking. Let the world see your cracks. They're proof of battles fought and survived. This is your moment. Not to forget, but to rise. And when they ask how you endured, you'll smile because the answer is simple: you chase to.